Moin und herzlich willkommen hier wieder bei The Hobbyist in der Kategorie Gaming. Ja, dieses Mal wollen wir uns etwas angucken, was ich schon von einer Zeit lang mal angekündigt hatte. Und zwar gibt es jetzt für Coteries of New York den ersten Story-DLC, so nenne ich es jetzt mal. Das ist eine eigenständige Story, also spielt auch in New York, wie der Name vermuten lässt, aber ist eben ein eigenständiges Spiel und hat mit dem Spielstand, den wir davor hatten, nichts zu tun zum Beispiel. Ist also keine wirkliche Fortsetzung. Zumindest glaube ich das. Es wurde zumindest so angekündigt. Deswegen schauen wir da jetzt rein und ich hoffe, ihr habt genauso viel Spaß damit wie ich. Ich freue mich da schon die ganze Zeit drauf, denn die Coteries of New York Videos haben mir sehr viel Spaß gemacht, die zu produzieren. Und ich hoffe, diese Story wird ebenso turbulent wie die letzte. Mein Fazit dazu habt ihr ja vielleicht gesehen zu Coteries of New York. Ich hatte mir erhofft, dass das ein bisschen oder hatte gedacht, dass es vielleicht ein bisschen länger wäre und dass die Story erst gerade anfängt, als sie eigentlich schon zu Ende war. Ich hoffe, sie machen jetzt mit Shadows of New York nicht den Fehler, also eine Climax aufzubauen und dann auf einmal ist vorbei. So, das hoffe ich für dieses Spiel und ich habe überhaupt keine Ahnung. Ich habe mir absichtlich keine Reviews angeguckt zu dem Spiel, um überhaupt auch keine Spoiler zu haben. Es gab zum Beispiel heute am Erscheinungstag auch von der World of Darkness, also allem, was so Vampire, Werewolf, Mage und so ist, ein Developer-Stream, ein normalen World of Darkness-Stream war es, glaube ich, wo sie die erste Stunde aus Shadows of New York zeigen. Und das fand ich schon ein bisschen krass, weil ich dachte so, hey, wer will denn die erste Stunde von einem storybasierten Spiel sehen, dass es jemand anders für einen spielt. Also in dem Fall, wenn man das Spiel kaufen möchte oder sehen will, ob es was taugt oder so. Aber davon mal ganz abgesehen, schauen wir doch mal an, was Shadows of New York so kann. Bis gleich. Da sind wir auch schon bei Shadows of New York. Die Musik alleine gefällt mir schon mal. So viel sei gesagt. Und auch das Bild finde ich schon ziemlich cool, was sie da haben am Anfang. Ist das hier Hope? Das frage ich mich die ganze Zeit. Ob das Hope aus Coteries of New York ist. Das könnte irgendwie passen. Wir werden das ja sicherlich feststellen. Das Einzige, was ich zu diesem Spiel sonst noch weiß, ist, dass diese Frau, diese Dame hier, dass es die ist, die wir selber spielen werden. Ich bin wirklich sehr gespannt und schauen wir mal, was uns erwartet. Let's go! Welcome to my castle. Don't expect everyday logic to work here. It went out of the window sometime after midnight, maybe earlier. My kingdom is not of this world, you see. It lies far outside of concrete, tangible reality. I've tried to identify the way people reach it, and I'm convinced it has something to do with the moon. Some say the moon's aura can turn them insane. You've heard the phrases moonstruck and lunatic. The way I see it, moonlight gives them some subliminal permission to reveal their true selves. And so, whenever they let the silver radiance guide them to the gates of this place, they feel different. Once they pass the doorstep, they are ready to act out. A dance of horrors and marvels begins. Ob damit die Malkavians gemeint sind? Das wird ja werden ja auch Clan des Mondes genannt. Ja, wir werden sehen. It's 3:31 a.m. Welcome to Big Beat Burger. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly readying up to be a productive member of society come tomorrow morning. More likely, you're praying that the sunrise never comes. Insatiable children of the night gather round, hoping to bask in the afterglow of tonight's victories, unwind after a frustrating series of failures, or simply fight to keep themselves together. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here greedily revealing in every interaction they have
They have no idea they are only here for my amusement. To them, I'm just a random girl sitting in the corner. But this is my domain. I've been coming here almost every night for years. I know where to sit, where to look, and where to eavesdrop for maximum amusement. I'm basically a voyeur, and unshamed to admit it. It gave me insight about the human condition I'd never otherwise have gathered, and more importantly, a necessary skill set to make ends meet as a journalist. As I write on my crappy old laptop, patiently waiting for the legion of narrative voices in my head to get too tired to offer useless feedback, I keep my senses peeled to pick up stories around me. Of course, a lot of regular events such as food fights are nothing to write home about, aside from my unfortunate tendency to become collateral damage in someone else's battles. Up to this day, I've had to wash my clothes because of Coke, Diet Coke, hot coffee, apple pie, and some sort of improvised honey mustard bomb. Every stain tells a different story. Sometimes this hobby is exhausting. Sometimes it's disturbing, sometimes it's dangerous, although not as risky as back when I wasn't carrying pepper spray. Still, the sights I've taken over the years here have made it absolutely worth it. I've got so many stories. I don't know where to begin. Theatrical breakups, impromptu mourning parties, unexpected friendships forged in the fires of senseless battle. A lady in a gorgeous Givenchy dress ordering a box of takeout chicken nuggets, paying in cash with her hands completely covered in blood. She was asked if she wants a napkin. She said no. Two thirsty macho dudes shamelessly going for it in the corner, hushed moaning filling the lobby while everyone around valiantly fights to act as usual and maintain an illusion of normalcy. Straight up kung fu fight between a diminutive cashier and some drugged bodybuilder going through a psychotic episode trying to break all the windows. The big guy left in the joint fully convinced he KO'd himself, while the service worker was just standing next to him, seemed proud of his victory too. A middle-aged hag getting a heart attack after screaming her lungs out not to let Muslims near her food, just because she saw a white girl wearing a hairnet behind the counter. Okay. A masked couple robbing the restaurant of 30 hamburgers, forcing the employees to cook at gunpoint. Police later said those were art students reenacting some hipster book they read. This is life. This is humanity at its worst and best. This is the noise that serves as the foundation for my creativity. This is the soma that keeps me going. This is... Julia. As pathetic as it may sound, these days this is the only place where I feel alive. Sometimes I think of myself as a leech, feeding on these people's stories, emotions and personalities just because I'm not satisfied with mine. Ich frage mich, ob sie schon verwandelt ist. Wir werden sehen. At times, I think of my psyche as some kind of shitty postmodern construct that is fundamentally incapable of honesty, but only yearns for something felt and truthful. Does this even make any sense? I look at the screen of my laptop, 3:47 a.m. At this point, I'm almost somnambulic, but nothing interesting has happened yet. Feels like all the customers are watching each other tonight, hoping for the others to provide a fun diversion. This is my turf, you parasitic douchebags. Next time, go find your own. I think it's time to call it a night. The coffee I always order so that they don't kick me out is undrinkable. Ugh. I reread the rough draft I've been working on for the last 6 hours. Damn, this is pure trash. I hold the backspace button until the Google Documents page is nothing but a calm white slate and let out a sound of deep relief. There is no pleasure more intoxicating for a frustrated writer than ragging on someone even worse than them. And what target is easier than the dumb bitch she used to be 10 minutes ago? I check the time again. I need to go. I have an important meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I have a hunch it's not going to end well. 10 a.m. hört sich für mich nicht an, als wäre sie schon ein Vampir. And it's not because I'm an irresponsible dumbass who's going to need a few cups of coffee to simply function on a basic level despite like 4 hours of sleep. It's because I always have a hunch things are not going the way they're supposed to. Click, clack, click, click, clack. The loud clatter of keyboards assaults me from all sides, makes the splitting headache unbearable. Used to be, I dreamed of nothing else but being a part of the New York Loadster editorial team. It was the first magazine I started reading regularly. The first magazine I ever bought for myself. Now simply hearing the word Loadster is enough to ruin my mood. Never mind seeing all these old farts phoning and more reactionary opinion columns and Wikipedia-level analysis of current events. Click-clack, click-click-clack. They used to destroy and rebuild my entire worldview every month. They shaped my thinking about politics, art, journalism. They even pointed me toward my favorite cigarette brand, for God's sake. Then some talented people started leaving for greener pastures. Some got too wrapped up in their own neuroses. Some became complacent. All of them committed in this sin of allowing themselves to grow older. Fresh blood was deemed unnecessary, even though young freelancers kept being bled dry. These days, whenever someone from outside Loadster talks about Loadster, it's because of a few idealistic contributors willing to accept meager pay while putting in serious work. Dumbasses. Other than that, the magazine specializes in publishing pale echoes of provocative ideas I heard somewhere else a few years prior, wrapped in an aesthetic that has been cutting edge for a decade. No wonder the readership is in freefall. But even though the ship is sinking, the old guard won't let it go down without a fight. As in, if anyone from the outside attempts to board the vessel in hopes of fixing its course or its holds, they will be swiftly taken care of. I should know. Been there, done that. As it stands, the only full-time staff member who doesn't make me regularly attempt to cringe my face off with his writing. Brian. Enters the room, scheinbar. Ist das der Chefredakteur? Ja, schauen wir mal. It's Loadstar's editor-in-chief, Brian N.G. The man sitting in front of me right now, of course. He only has time for editorials these days. A drop in the sea of needs. Managerial duties hit him hard. It's the second time he lets out a theatrical cough like this. He has said his piece. Now it's up for me to react, and I'm coming up blank. But do you want me to say, Brian, I'm pissed off. I can tell you I've already made up your mind, but you still want to go through the motions just to make me feel listened to. Whatever, let's do this. Brian, the guy's guilty of major fraud. The man has a sexual harasser, Brian. You're protecting a complete POS, yeah. Brian is guilty of major fraud. My article isn't even something like lashing out at the rich and hoping they don't hit back. I think double spirals investors would appreciate being told they are being scammed. That's if, and that's a big if, they're not a conscious part of the scam. Oh, come on. And even if they weren't, I doubt they'd be generous enough to protect us from the fallout. You're avoiding the core of the issue. No, I believe I've pinpointed it in the precise way. If it were up to me, I'd greenlight the article here and now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're killing the article just because some rich shithead told you he doesn't like it. Get real. This is not about some millionaire jerk calling me to make me an offer I can't refuse. What is this about then? Because it looks awfully like it's about my bosses telling me this outlet can't afford the legal action we've already been threatened with. So millionaire interference. Oh, for crying out loud, Julia. Don't make me treat you like a child. You know how this works. I publish your story. It's Stil versus Gawker all over again. A lawsuit here, a lawsuit there, until we are bled dry. I have a mortgage. I have 3 mouths waiting to be fed at home. I have an amazing team that doesn't deserve to be torn apart over some. Don't you think it's telling you mentioned your mortgage first? Silence. Just asking questions. I know better than to get into these empty semantic arguments with you, Miss Sawinski. You're good at them. The problem is you're still not good enough. Meaning? You're too in love with weaving a good story and establishing a seductive narrative to let facts get in the way. You've got enough boring suits with no principles on board these days. They always give you facts because that's all they can do. I'm using facts as a way to approach some kind of truth. Except facts can blindside you, and Double Spiral have enough facts to water down your story to the point where it makes no sense to publish it. The HR and PR are working overtime to deliver a convincing counter-narrative, and they're doing a great job. Won't mitigate the damage completely, but will put every little thing in question. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Julia. Let me say it again. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Do you personally believe it or not? This is not... You've listened to the tapes. You have read the transcripts. You've seen the documents. You've got the files. I'm asking for your personal opinion. Do you believe it or not? Click, clack, click, click, clack. Of course I do. But that's beside the point. It's not. Look, how about I just say it out loud and save us both some time? We're not having this conversation because there's an actual conversation to be had. You set up this meeting knowing very damn well there's only one way it's going to end. You've got a mortgage and 3 mouths to feed. You prioritize the well-being of your direct surroundings over some nebulous concepts of greater good. I get it. I really do. Yet for some reason, it seems like you're only prolonging this conversation and rationalizing your decisions so that I forgive you? Officially? Exonerate you? I'm not the bad guy here, Julia. Yes you are, I wouldn't say you are. So what are you? Yeah. What are you then? In your own words. A man who does what is necessary to protect his own. So I don't count you as your own anymore. So he mutters something under his breath, ending with a self-pitying chuckle. I don't know if you'd even want to work under a scumbag like me from now on. Oh, come on, don't turn this into a pity party. No, I'm absolutely a scumbag. And why is that? Because I'm firing you. My thoughts are scrambled. For a brief moment, the state of my bank account displays before my eyes with a startling clarity. A howling void opens in my chest and starts traveling towards my stomach. No, don't panic yet, you idiot. Get more information. Now, there must be a catch. Is this final? They told me there will be consequences if the outlet ever picks you up your work again. I shouldn't even be telling you that. I did everything in my power to change their mind. I'm sorry. They? What they? Who is they? He glances left and right and then points upward for a short moment. When he speaks up again in his hushed voice. You know, the big kahunas. I can't really question them. And they wanted your head on a silver plate. He's not looking me in the eye. You're not joking. I would never joke about stuff like this. It's real. Fucking hell, it's real. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. All to hell. All these years, all this grind, all my plans, and for what fucking ass? So you know I deserved better, and I always deserve better, and it always ends with me going down the drain back to the sewers. Fuck! No. Take a few deep breaths. Don't lose the plot now. Keep yourself together, you idiot. The moment you show weakness, they go for your throat. Get back in control. You can't do this. I wish I didn't have to, but it's a lost cause. No, I mean it's impossible. Julia, you can't fire someone who's never been hired in the first place. Takes him a few seconds to put on his "oh, I get it" face, let out a troubled gasp and start messaging his temples. Lodestar has been my biggest source of income for the past few years. That much is true, but technically nobody has ever hired me here. It was all freelance jobs. A full-time position only served as a kind of a dangling carrot. A promise of a decent pay grade, career perspectives, maybe even some kind of insurance to have my failing health, to save my failing health. And the recognition I would get for being a part of the Lodestar team, a position that everyone around me seems to respect aside from me. Then why did I want it so much? There will be time to mourn what could have been. For now, I should act like I don't care. You know what I mean. If I let you work, even on the fake name, it would be guillotine for me. This is ridiculous. You know I'm going to start shopping in this story around the second I leave this room, don't you? Of course I know. I told him. Any response? Let us worry about that. Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. Click, clack, click, clack, click. I do wonder if I could get accustomed to one of these loud mechanical keyboards some people here love to use. Ich hasse auch diese mechanischen Keyboards. Wer zur Hölle hat sich das ausgedacht? Whenever I did my work in here, I was still expected to bring my own crappy laptop and close it to the lobby. Always on the outside, no matter how hard I tried to break in. A vibration in my back pocket feels like a bad omen. I decide to ignore it for now. I've been working on this fucking story for, I don't know, 16 months on and off? I know. You kept cheering me on. I know. We have even agreed on the pay I'd receive. I know. I'm 2 months behind on my rent. No, wait, 2.5. I catch him off guard. He is momentarily taken aback and then gives me an empathetic stare. Don't you look at me this way. You don't have the right. I didn't know. Well, now you do. Look, if there's anything I can do to help. If you can't tell your big kahunas to fuck off, I don't think there's isn't a single thing. Julia. I pull out the smoke and light it up. Gotta get back into control. Please don't do that. There's a smoke detector here. No worries. Nick turned it off a few weeks ago. Probably the most creative things he's ever done in the past 5 years. Good old Nick, the perfect 21st century cinema reviewer. Never has an original thought of his own, just relies on his purely algorithmic taste to stay likable. And the best thing is, it works. Funny, I used to dream about his job. It was Brian who killed this dream, making me realize Nick won't be unseated anymore anytime soon, and offered to teach me the ways of an investigative journalist instead. Wasn't the career I ever wanted to pursue, but to my dismay I turned out to be surprisingly good at it. Until this Montgomery thing happened. Serves me right, lesson learned, should have pursued my dreams instead. Stop it. Nicholas is a good friend, a respected critic, a member of my team, and put out that smoke. People tell me I let you step all over me. Why do I even let you act like this? Let you act this way, sorry. Because you once told me honesty is the most important in mentor-student relationship, and that it works both ways, and because I thought we were friends. He bites his lip and stares sideways to avoid my eyes. At the end of the day, bosses aren't friends. Must have been a terrible mentor if I didn't even teach you that. Could have been better, you are still responsible for me. Oh no, you're not getting off this hook that easily. You're still my mentor and I will make sure you take responsibility. You're getting rid of me at least point me in the right direction. I need to get my shit together fast and I can't do it on my own. Fair. I might have failed as a guide, but it will do that. I cannot leave you stranded, okay? There are options. None of them are a remedy for all your troubles, but... wait a second. Another vibration in my pocket, another foreboding feeling. This time I reluctantly take the smartphone out of my pocket. If it has to rain, why not let it pour? A new email. It's a lengthy one. And the sender? Speak of the devil. No, this can't be. Christ. I just got an email from Mila Lopez. She claims she's just been laid off from Double Spiral. Same as Mike Antonoff and Jared Riviera. What? What happened? I'll spare you all her insults, okay? The key thing is, it seems their HR knows all the confidential information about my journalistic investigation and used it to shut everyone's mouth. Hell, apparently Montgomery walked up to Lopez as she was emptying her desk and told her to thank me for being a, quote, dumb and careless cunt. Brian goes pale. I think he has a very good reason to... You fucking scumbag, you outed my sources? What? Of course not. What are you even saying? Oh, don't you dare play coy. It must have been either you or me, no one else, and you know the way I work. My investigation was basically untraceable, both on and offline. Carefully picked meeting spots, encryption upon encryption, every direct quote rewritten 5 times just in case, all sorts of red herrings scattered around. I know my shit. You know I do. At this timing? Did you just pass a flash drive to your beloved Big Kahunas during a meeting as a sign of goodwill? Look, I get you're upset, but why don't we just talk this through calmly? Sehr geil. No, fuck you, fuck off. Fuck you now, fuck off. Fury takes the wheel, and I'm just here along for the ride. I can't do anything about it. In a deranged way, realizing you're just a passenger in your own body feels liberating. Let's just see it all unfold. Calmly. Fuck you, Brian. Julia. I've been paranoid for months and months, acting like everyone I didn't know was an assassin or a corporate spy. I know I haven't messed up. Not in a way that I would implicate all of them. You thought you could get away with this? I haven't done anything improper. Don't push the blame on me. So what? You're claiming it's my fault? 'Cause you're never the guilty one? It's always the bosses, the economy, the obligations you have, and now me? You're being silly. Quit with this major bullshit. Calm down or I have to... You immortal shithead. You immoral. Entschuldigung. You immoral shithead. You motherfucking calm down for God's sake. And so it goes. I yell out a lot of words I wanted to say for a long time but held back. I fling a lot of insults I've been workshopping for years, hoping I'd never use them. I break a few things. At times, for a split second, I see pity in somebody's eyes. It's gonna haunt me for a long time, but in the heat of the moment, I don't care. These people, no, this company has nothing left to offer me. So at least let me take this catharsis. In the end, a security guard has to escort me out of the building. And that's the end of my journalistic career. I just feel like my whole world has crumbled into nothing. I mean, you have every right to. Like, Jesus, if I were you, I would have already broken down into a sobbing mess. Oh, Dakota, neues. I'd love to, but I'm on the subway, far too proud to cry in public even now. And? It's stupid, but I feel like someone out there keeps destroying everything I hold dear just to see my reaction. Like it was a prank show and someone was waiting to record my crying. So, out of sheer spite, I'm doing my best not to cry. Fuck you, whoever and wherever you are. That's the most Julia Sowinsky thing I've heard. Spite is the greatest motivator, huh? Not feeling particularly motivated to do anything right now, to be honest. I just want to stay in my bed until my shithead landlord calls the cops to forcefully evict me. Not surprised. Shit. I know that whenever the life decides to fuck you over, it's always one thing after another, but this is too much. How much is too much? Let's recap this last week of June 2019. I've been kicked out of my job. Well, not that I've ever been hired, so let's just say my mentor broke every vague promise he ever made to me. A big thing I'd been working on for a year and a half went down the toilet. It's all useless. My boss didn't protect my sources properly, and now they keep trying to reach me through every possible channel to threaten me or just yell at me, and they have every right to react like that. All of my side gigs were shut down. Nobody's replying to my emails. Someone's been dragging my name through the mud behind the scenes, and it worked. I still have no idea who's sending these shitty messages around. I've been asking, but... Listen, don't worry about it. I'm not going to stand idly by and watch you get cancelled by some mean-spirited delusional. I said, don't worry about it. I have 3 unread messages from my landlord. The message previews were stressful enough. A call came from Chicago. Apparently dad has bladder cancer, mom is hysterics. She'd go crazy if she heard about my situation, so I have to pretend everything is okay whenever she calls. And she calls every day. And she just won't hang up before she offloads all her burdens on me. And I can't blame her because we all had to learn to cope with dad's psychopathic tendencies somehow. I was robbed. All my documents and all what little money I had gone. Don't even know when or where it happened. And it's driving me crazy because I'm always extremely wary of pickpockets. The list goes on. I want to sound paranoid, but it really feels like a concerted attack. Paranoid is good. Anyway, I know you always have hand-waved this topic away, but just remember that if anything happens, my place is your place. You don't have to get through it alone. I do. I've been a trouble magnet, and as self-centered as I may be, I don't want it to affect you. I know, listen, I have another call. Alright, just call me if anything happens, no matter how dumb it seems, okay? And swing by whenever you can. Oh well, thank you. See ya. I put my phone away, exhale and blankly stare in front of me. Christ. I glance at my reflection in the window. Just look at this idiot. Whenever the situation requires me to dress formally, I still feel a bit like a child cosplaying as an adult. Should have just followed the dress for the job you want advice and continued dressing up like a trust fund kid who keeps partying on Brooklyn rooftops for years without a care in the world. It's only after a while that I realize the car is empty. Unnaturally so, I start feeling uneasy, but someone enters my peripheral vision.
Holy shit.
Oh, nice. Ach, krass. Cool gemacht. And that's the last thing I consciously register. The world dissolves. Da ist es wieder. When I come to, I'm out of the subway, standing in a back alley I don't recognize. It's pretty dark. My arm starts adjusting and I try to figure out what happened. There's a gun in my hand. A faint silhouette at my feet. It's not moving. Somebody stands in front of me, covered in shadows. I can't fully make out her face, but she's staring at me with visible intent. She speaks. Her voice is raspy and androgynous, her tone hateful and mocking. Aren't you a nasty one? What is going on? Who are you? Don't play coy. My mind goes blank. I look at the ground. There's a body riddled with bullet holes, and I recognize who it was. The corpse belongs to Mike Antonov, one of the double spiral whistleblowers. My source. He was just threatening to get back at me a few hours ago. Before I can feel even the tiniest bit of compassion, I face a terrible realization. They will think I'm guilty. Oh my god, am I guilty? How's this real? It wasn't me. I don't even know what's going on. Listen, I was just riding the subway. Again, don't play coy. You knew him. He was mad at you. You started telling him sob stories about your situation. He wasn't having none of it. You got mad. Things escalated. He died. This isn't true. It's plausible, but that doesn't make it true, or does it? It's just a nightmare. It doesn't even make sense. It must be a dream. And if it isn't, the person in front of me must be responsible. There's a faint voice in my head screaming that it's her world, that I'm just living in it. What the fuck have you done to me? Nothing yet. But I do what I can to get you locked up for life. This is a murder in the first degree with special circumstances. Her detached voice and nonsensical tone only reassures me. This can't be real. I refuse to believe that it is. Before I even manage to think this through, I point the gun at her. If I did murder him, you wouldn't be acting like that. You wouldn't be standing in front of me. You'd be running away, calling the police, begging for help, yelling that I'm a psycho. Oh, ich hab die falsche Stimme gemacht. Haha. Egal. Oh, you are a psycho, but I'm not a coward. I won't let you walk out of your life. This doesn't make any single lick of sense. Tears well up in my eyes. Why are you doing this? Because sometimes one has to confront what they are really made of. There's no two ways about it. She's gonna be nuts. Slowly but surely she starts walking over towards me. Stop right there or I shoot. Go on. It's the only way you can get off the hook, isn't it? The only way you can survive, but you will definitely prove you are the monster I claim you are. What the fuck is this tone? So controlling, inauthentic, patronizing. I'm serious. For your own sake, you'd better be. She keeps getting closer. Maybe I'd kill Antonov. Maybe I don't deserve to live. Maybe it's less trying to not to live. Maybe I should just let her take care of me. Maybe we'll just wake up. Or maybe this insane reality needs to be rejected as violently as possible. Maybe a world that wants to destroy me deserves to be destroyed. She's right in front of me. It's now or never. Ich habe eine Idee, dass das vielleicht so eine Art Aufnahmeritual ist. I close my eyes and squeeze the trigger. A loud bang echoes through the alley. I'm afraid to look what I've done. I've been to a shooting range once and felt absolutely horrified by pistols. Such a small thing, but it can easily puncture a hole in the fabric reality is made of. Never knew that I'd be able to use it against another human being. The very thought makes me want to puke.
You were a right choice. After all, I'm so glad.
You haven't allowed yourself to break, but you've crossed the line I needed you to cross. There's a silent flame in you that could become an inferno if it left unchecked. I sure hope it will. She's still alive. Her voice is coming from behind me. She puts her hands around my waist and her cold mouth touches my neck. I can feel my shirt getting violently torn off. I don't understand, but I'm too dazed to protest. That was your final test. Congratulations. You have proven yourself worthy. I can feel something sharp sliding into my neck. It's not too painful, just startling. Think a doctor pushing a needle into your vein without a proper warning. Then it hits me. Pure bliss. The dopamine receptors I've considered completely fired and until now suddenly recover and start bombarding me with pleasure I've never known before. I finally let the tears go. They come flooding. They've been waiting for years. It's such a relief. Is it raining? I feel like I'm in the middle of a deluge, at least, washing away all of my fears, all of my sorrows, all of my anger, all of my pain, all of my ego. I become one with the world and the woman behind me. She's holding me tight, making me feel like the only important thing in this world. Everything else blurs. I feel something intense towards her, something I've never felt before. Is it love? I hope it is. This is not you, hisses a familiar, cynical voice in the back of my head. But it's okay. I never felt particularly fond of me anyway. New York, you're perfect. Oh, please don't change a thing. He who loves in the shadows always has the last laugh. Hallelujah, praise be. When everything is a cliché, nothing is. Isn't that the end? Isn't that the ever-distant utopia I've been chasing all along? People on the other trains, I hope you're doing fine. God, shut up, just enjoy it. Finally understand. She's making love to me. She's giving birth to me. She's burying me. I'm pretty sure I've been dead for a while. I'm pretty sure I could stare at my own corpse in her hands from a distance for a moment somehow. And then I'm alive again. She lifts her mouth from my neck. No way, I taste blood in my mouth. Was I drinking her blood too? I realize whatever this was, it's over and I have to bask in the afterglow whilst I can. I also immediately understand that I'm going to chase this fleeting feeling for the rest of my existence. Finally, she lets out a whisper, which concludes the ceremony.
No matter what happens next, don't forget, you are a monster.
But you were lucky enough to be born into a world of monsters, so you don't ever mourn that fact.
Embrace it.
Ja, nice. Das war also der Prolog quasi. Ich denke mal, das sind schon 42 Minuten, die wir jetzt den Prolog spielen. Das war auch relativ lang. Ich würde jetzt hier einen Cut machen und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder, wenn es wieder heißt Shadows of New York. Ich bin gespannt, was jetzt mit Julia passiert. Ich weiß nur, sie ist eine La Sombra geworden. Und wir werden sehen, was das nächste Mal bringt. Für alle, die nicht wissen, was eine La Sombra ist, ich werde es beim nächsten Mal erklären. Das macht wieder Spaß. Ich bin dabei, ihr hoffentlich auch. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.